The amber spyglass. The amber light of a dying sun casts long shadows across the desolate landscape of the world of the dead. Lyra Belacqua, her face etched with determination and fear, stood at the edge of a precipice, the vast expanse of the underworld stretching out before her. Beside her, Will Parry gripped the subtle knife, its edge gleaming with otherworldly power. Their daemons, Pantalaimon and Kerjava, huddled close, their forms shimmering with anxiety. "Are you sure about this, Lyra?" Will's voice was barely a whisper, carried away by the chill wind that seemed to emanate from the very depths of the afterlife. Lyra's hand found his, their fingers intertwining. "We have to, Will. For Roger. For your father. For all of them." With a deep breath, they took their first steps into the realm of the dead, leaving their daemons behind in a heart-wrenching separation that felt like tearing their very souls apart. The pain was excruciating, a physical agony that threatened to overwhelm them. But their mission drove them forward, to find their lost friends and to uncover the truth about dust. As they descended deeper into the world of the dead, the landscape shifted. Mist swirled around their feet, and the whispers of countless souls echoed in the air. Ghosts, pale and insubstantial, drifted past them, their eyes hollow with the weight of eternity. They encountered familiar faces: Roger, Lyra's childhood friend; John Parry, Will's long-lost father; Lee Scoresby, the brave aeronaut. Each reunion was bittersweet, joy mingled with the sharp pain of loss, and the knowledge that these were mere echoes of the people they once knew. Meanwhile, in the world of the living, forces were aligning. Lord Asriel's rebellion against the authority gained momentum, his armies of angels and humans preparing for the ultimate battle. Mrs. Coulter, Lyra's mother, played a dangerous game of deception and manipulation, her motivations as enigmatic as ever. Dr. Mary Malone, guided by the mysterious consciousness of dust, found herself in a world of wheelpud trees and creatures called Mulfa. Here, she constructed the amber spyglass, a device that allowed her to see dust with her naked eye. Through this lens, she began to unravel the cosmic secrets that bound all worlds together. The Mulfa, with their diamond-shaped skeletons and seedpod wheels, showed Mary a symbiotic relationship with nature that challenged everything she thought she knew about consciousness and evolution. As she lived among them, learning their ways and sharing in their harmonious existence, she felt the stirrings of a profound revelation. Back in the world of the dead, Lyra and Will made a startling discovery. The authority, long believed to be the creator of all things, was in fact the first angel, ancient, decrepit, and kept alive by the machinations of his regent Metatron. The true creator had long since abandoned his creation, leaving behind a corrupt system that trapped souls in a joyless afterlife. With this knowledge, their mission took on new urgency. They resolved to break open the world of the dead to allow the souls trapped there to disperse back into the universe. It was a monumental task, one that would shake the very foundations of existence. Will, wielding the subtle knife with growing skill, began to cut a window large enough for the ghosts to pass through. The effort was immense, each slice through reality draining him of strength. Lyra stood by his side, her unwavering support giving him the courage to continue. As the window opened wider, a flood of souls began to pour through. The sight was both beautiful and terrifying. Countless spirits, finally free after eons of imprisonment, dissolving into the air with sighs of relief and joy. Among them were Roger and Lee Scoresby, their faces radiant with newfound peace as they bid a final farewell to Lyra and Will. The act of freeing the dead had consequences that reverberated across all worlds. The fabric of reality itself began to fray. Dust pouring out of the worlds in a great flood. The delicate balance that held the multiverse together was tipping, threatening to unravel everything. Lord Asriel's forces clashed with the armies of the Authority. In a battle that spanned multiple worlds, angels fought alongside humans, their celestial weapons blazing against the backdrop of colliding realities. The very sky seemed to tear apart, revealing glimpses of other worlds and the swirling vortex of dust that connected them all. Mrs. Coulter, in a moment of unexpected redemption, sacrificed herself to destroy Metatron and protect Lyra. It was a final act of maternal love from a woman who had caused so much pain. A complex legacy that Lyra would grapple with for years to come. As the cosmic battle raged, Lyra and Will found themselves at the heart of the prophecy that had shaped their destinies. They realized that their growing love for each other was the key, the new Adam and Eve, whose choices would determine the fate of dust and all conscious beings. In a grove of wheelpud trees, under the watchful eye of Mary Malone and her amber spyglass, Lyra and Will shared a moment of pure, innocent love. It was a simple act to kiss, a touch, but it reverberated across the multiverse. Dust, which had been fleeing from the worlds, began to flow back, rejuvenated by this affirmation of consciousness and free will. But their victory came at a great cost. The windows between worlds, cut by the subtle knife, were allowing dust to escape. To preserve the balance of the multiverse, all but one window would need to be closed forever. Lyra and Will faced an impossible choice: to stay together, but doom their worlds to slow decay, or to part forever for the greater good. With hearts breaking, they chose sacrifice. In a final, gut-wrenching scene, Lyra and Will said their goodbyes. They promised to meet once a year, if only in spirit. Sitting on a bench in their respective Oxford's Botanic Gardens at Midsummer's Day, Will broke the subtle knife, closing the last window between their worlds. The multiverse heaved a sigh of relief as balance was restored. But for Lyra and Will, it felt like the end of everything. As they returned to their separate worlds, each felt the weight of their experiences settling upon them. They were no longer children, but neither were they quite adults. They were something in between, heroes who had saved the multiverse, but at the cost of their own happiness. Lyra returned to Jordan College, determined to learn to read the alethiometer again, this time through study and dedication rather than innate grace. Will, back in his Oxford, resolved to care for his mother and pursue a life of purpose, honoring the sacrifices made. Mary Malone brought back her knowledge from the world of the Mulfa, her amber spyglass, a reminder of the wonders she had witnessed. She became a mentor to Lyra, helping her navigate the complexities of growing up and reconciling her extraordinary experiences with the mundane world around her. The story concludes with Lyra and Will, worlds apart, but connected by their shared experiences and enduring love. sitting on their respective benches in the botanic gardens. Though they cannot see or touch each other, they feel the presence of their soulmate across the divide of worlds, as the sun sets on their story, casting the gardens in a warm, amber glow reminiscent of Mary's spyglass. Lyra opens a book, her own story, written to preserve the truth of their adventures, and as she reads the first words aloud, it's as if Will can hear her voice carrying across the vastness of the multiverse, in a world much like our own. But not quite the same, there lived a girl named Lyra Belacqua. The amber spyglass, now resting in Mary's study, catches the last rays of the setting sun. In its depths, one might almost see the swirling patterns of dust, a reminder of the cosmic dance of consciousness that binds all living things across all worlds. And so, the tale of Lyra and Will comes to an end. But their impact on the multiverse and on each other will resonate for eternity. They have reshaped reality, challenged the very foundations of existence, and in doing so have ensured that the story of life, love, and consciousness will continue to unfold in countless worlds for eons to come. As night falls and stars begin to twinkle in the sky, one might imagine that they shine a little brighter, a little more consciously, thanks to the brave actions of two children who dared to question the nature of reality itself. And in the gentle rustle of leaves, in the whisper of the wind, perhaps one can hear the echoes of their epic tale, a story of love, sacrifice, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The amber spyglass, like the alethiometer and the subtle knife before it, becomes a symbol of the knowledge gained and the prices paid. It represents the ability to see the truth of things, to peer beyond the veil of ordinary perception and glimpse the fundamental forces that shape existence. In the years that follow, Lyra dedicates herself to scholarship, driven by a desire to understand the mysteries she encountered, and to honor the sacrifices made. Her studies of experimental theology blend the scientific with the mystical, pushing the boundaries of knowledge in her world. Will, carrying the weight of his experiences, chooses a path of healing. He becomes a doctor, using his hands, once wielders of the subtle knife, to mend bodies and ease suffering. In every patient he treats, he sees a glimmer of the countless lives he and Lyra touched on their journey. Mary Malone continues her research, her experiences with the Mulfa informing a new understanding of consciousness and humanity's place in the cosmos. She becomes a bridge between worlds of thought, challenging old paradigms and inspiring a new generation